What's up, guys? Welcome back. Mr. C's Corner. It is Thursday, April 23rd, Throwback Thursday. We are going to continue our lesson from Tuesday about international trade, all while listening to the Black Eyed Peas throwback group from my past when I was in middle school and high school, I think. Are they still making music? I don't know. You gotta let me know that. Today is also the first day of the NFL draft, hence my Giant gear. Knowing the Giants, they'll blow their pick again and not draft an offensive lineman. But hopefully I'm wrong. Anyway, so on Tuesday we discussed the global economy and some key terms and strategies associated with international trade. On today's episode, we're going to discuss specialization, currencies, and exchange rates between countries. So before we dive in, let's talk about our EQ. Reload this. How can a country strengthen its comparative advantage? See, I don't know what a comparative advantage is. All right, we're going to define that, and then we're also going to be able to answer that question by the end of this episode. So we left off last episode discussing balance of trade. Remember? If not, it's okay. We're going to review it real quick. The textbook definition is of balance of trade is the difference in value. That's a key word, value. The difference in value between a country's imports and exports over a period of time. Remember, when I'm talking about value, I'm talking about monetary value, not quantitative value, monetary, how much something is worth. I think the example I gave on Tuesday was if somebody produces or something produces 100 widgets at $1 a piece, the value of that shipment is only $100. But if somebody else produces something else, let's just say another widget that's valued at $500, that one widget is worth more than that other country's. $500 is more than $100. Get it? So when I'm talking about balance of trade, I'm talking about monetary value. Countries can have a trade surplus. A country exports more than it imports, or they can have a trade deficit. A country imports more than it exports. So if you don't remember imports and exports, I'm going to go over my cool yoga moves. Imports bringing in, exports bringing out. So if I have a trade surplus, a country exports more than it imports means that I am shipping out more of my goods than I'm bringing in. And the opposite is true. Trade deficit. A country imports or brings in more than it exports. Maybe this just went by. So I'm bringing in more than what I'm sending out. That's what I mean by deficit. So I'm relying on other countries more in a deficit versus a surplus. I don't rely on as many countries to fulfill my needs and wants as a country. Make sense? So if you've been asking yourself, how can a country have a positive balance of trade or have a trade surplus? Think about it. Think about what we're going through right now with this corona economy. This has helped nations realize that you should be producing certain products within a country, right? It makes sense. Especially during a global pandemic, we shouldn't be waiting on certain goods and services to come from another country. It makes sense just to have important, essential things here, located in the country. It's just my opinion. But anyway, the answer to the question of positive trade value or trade surplus, answer to that question is to specialize in a certain product or service. I'm going to give you another textbook definition. Specialization means to focus on a particular activity, area, or product. It helps build and sustain a market economy. So you're really good at something. Whatever that something is, a country's really good at it, and then they can go and, since they're experts in that, they can go and teach or they can go and sell that product or service to another country. So your first question, what product or service do you believe the U.S. specializes in? Think about it. Think about what's the backbone of the U.S. economy. Anyway, countries can specialize and trade some of the items that they produce in order to obtain other countries' goods and services, right? If I need or if the people in my country need certain kind of products and I can't produce it here, then I need to trade with another country, right? I think the example I gave last episode was bananas. Here in the U.S., we don't grow bananas because of the climate, so we import them in to fulfill our citizens' wants because you don't necessarily need, you want it. Countries can specialize in trade some of the items that they produce in order to obtain other countries' goods and services. These countries that do specialize may have here it is, comparative advantage. Yes, that's the key word for today's lesson. Comparative advantage. the ability of a country or a company to produce a particular good or service more effectively than another country or company. So I'm going to give you some examples. The first one that I was thinking about when just brainstorming this was Amazon. Amazon, what are they really good at? What's their one advantage they have over their competition? Yes, they have all these warehouses. Yes, their ease of access. Yes, they're this giant online retail thing. But to me, the number one thing that stood out is their delivery and how they deliver. How they can, in normal times, if you're a Prime member, they can get you literally anything that you order in 2 days. Crazy. Another one I was thinking about was Google's search engine. Google is more, or Alphabet, sorry. Alphabet is more than just Google and that search engine. No, they actually they own YouTube. They have very good cloud system. So, because Google's search engine is so popular that it just actually becomes a verb. Just go Google it, right? That's what I usually do. If I don't know something, I'll just go and Google it. And whenever I ask Siri something, all right, good, Siri didn't respond. So when I ask Siri something, it'll direct me right to Google. Pretty great. Now, those are services. Now let's talk about some products. And correct me if I'm wrong. France, they have a comparative advantage in wine, French wine, right? And another one that I was thinking about was coffee. Latin America, we'll just say Colombia, for example. Colombia specializes in coffee. So, how does the U.S. obtain coffee from Colombia? Either they trade a good or service of equal value for the coffee. Let's just say Colombia values coffee, shipment of coffee for $1,000. Well, in exchange, the U.S. will offer a product or service of similar monetary value. Remember, it's not quantitative, it is monetary value. Or, so they can either trade a good or service, or they could buy it based off of the monetary value. So, oh, that's worth $1,000? Okay, here's a $1,000 bill. You know what I mean. In order to trade with another country, businesses must convert their money into that nation's currency. So if I am buying from Colombia, I don't know what Colombia's currency is. You can help me out. But whatever that currency is, the U.S. will have to convert their dollar into that currency in order to get that product, in order to get that shipment of coffee. Currency is exchanged on the foreign exchange market. Also, some countries have the same currencies. So the biggest one that came to my mind was the euro. The official currency of 19 of the 27 European Union member states. It's a huge thing, the euro. It's the second largest in market cap and the second most traded currency behind, that's right, the U.S. dollar. Anyway, the exchange rate for currency changes from day to day and from country to country because people actually trade currencies. I'm hopefully going to get that into that in my global economics class next year, but hold up on that. All right, so the exchange rate. I'm going to give you that last textbook definition, then we're almost done. Exchange rate, the price at which one currency can buy another currency. Let me restate that. The price at which one currency can buy another currency. Okay, so companies follow the exchange rate to find the best prices for products. So hopefully, let's recap a little bit. How can a country strengthen its comparative advantage? Hopefully we can answer that by now. Basically you can answer in one word, but elaborate a little bit on that. Make sure you put your responses to the questions on Schoology for today's discussion board. Other than that, tomorrow's Friday. Hopefully the Giants draft a O-lineman tonight. If not, Joe Burrow, number 1, going overall. See you guys tomorrow. Great.